Okay, this is video 13B for chapter 12, continuing on with the saga of personality disorders. I'm going to just review a little bit. We have the four fluids, basically the blood, yellow bile, phlegm, and black bile. And this concept was developed by Hippocrates and around 370 BC, so roughly we can say 400 BCE. I forgot to mention the E on the end. So as we go through this, number one, an individual who is optimistic and cheerful, sanguine, blood, spring, and air. A doer and a leader, choleric, all of the twos go together. Yellow bile, summer, and fire. Calm and unemotional, phlegmatic, phlegm, winter, and water. Kind and considerate, melancholic, black bile, autumn, and earth. Okay, that's just a review. This is the history of not theories of personality, but personality in general. And when we go back to 400 BCE, you're going to find that even at that time, these individuals realized that there was a difference in personalities. So continuing on, we're jumping from 400 BC now up to a theorist by the name of Carl Jung. Carl Jung was a theorist. He was a buddy of Freud's, Sigmund Freud's, for quite some time. And then they had some type of dispute, some type of falling out. But a couple of things he talked about archetypes, and he talked about personalities. And then from Carl Jung, Myers-Briggs, mother-daughter, in 1958 come out with the Myers-Briggs personality inventory. And in this, they had 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. Remember, we were talking about, first of all, 10 from the tetractic, 10 being a perfect number. You remember that little diagram that I had that looked like you could set bowling pins on it and have that diagram. 10 items. That's where we get perfect 10 from. And then we have what I consider and call the power of 4. And this becomes kind of evident a little bit later on. But anyway, we have 4 categories here. Extroversion, introversion, intuitive, concrete, thinking and feeling, perceiving, judgment. Now, this is a very popular personality inventory. And if we looked at extroversion and introversion, I'm going to look at these just briefly. Imagine yourself or anyone else, but particularly yourself now, with a battery inside of you that makes you go. I'm not talking about robots. I'm role-playing here, and just use your imagination a little bit. Okay. Yeah, you have a battery that makes you go. An extrovert, in order to charge that battery up and keep it going, wants to be with other people. They want to be at a party. Depending on how extroverted they are, maybe they even want to be the life of the party. This is the way they charge their battery. Now, an introvert also has a battery, and when it needs charging, they want to be by themselves or with a select few. But they do not want the hustle and bustle of meeting a lot of people because this runs their battery down. The same way with the extrovert, if they're by themselves, him or herself, their battery starts to run down, so they have to be with other people
to charge the battery up again. So the extrovert has to be with other people. The introvert wants to be by himself. Okay. And this is true. I used to present, do a little national presenting, worked for the University of Nebraska in presenting. And I am a borderline extrovert introvert. I mean, I can go either way. And I enjoyed presenting. I enjoyed interacting with the group. But when we had break time, I wanted to be by myself. This was the way I charged my battery up. And after break and the battery was charged, had a good time in presenting and interacting with the group. So I just wanted to show you this is the difference. If you imagine yourself the battery, and I can go a little bit further on this, but I'm not going to right now as far as the difference. Extroverts need people. Introverts need self or a select few. So you can imagine, you know, if we have a highly extroverted individual married to a highly introverted individual, you know, there could be possible cause for concern. I'm not saying that there is, but there could be. Okay, number 2, intuitive, concrete. An intuitive individual says, hey, my gut tells me this is what we should do. This does not hold with a concrete person. A concrete person needs facts and figures. They don't need someone else's gut to tell them what to do. But it is really interesting, and this we want to be aware of, because some individuals are very concrete. And if you go in and say, hey, I have a wonderful idea and I have a gut feeling that this is going to happen or that is going to happen, you're going to drive that concrete person up the wall. You really will. So we have to be very careful in recognizing an intuitive individual and a concrete individual. Then we have thinking and feeling. Now, this is one with a possible gender difference. Supposedly, 60% of the men are thinkers and 60% of the women are feelers. Now, this doesn't mean that a feeler can't think, and it doesn't mean that a thinker can't feel. But this may have a little bit, maybe from evolutionary times, if you want to consider evolutionary times. It came up the macho man and the female then being more caring. But nonetheless, this does have a feeling component in it. If they were working in a type of business and someone came in a little bit late, one of the employees would come in a little bit late, the thinker would say, oh, we got to fire that person. And the feeler says, wait a minute, we can't fire that person. They've got to pay a light bill, they have kids to feed, and they have to pay that rent. So this could be the difference between the two. Perceiving and judgment. Oh, my. A perceiving individual, you give a perceiving individual a task to do, and a perceiving individual will attempt to put it off as late as they possibly can. Wait until the very last minute, and then we'll get it in. All right. They keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. Now, this isn't necessarily a negative aspect, because there's motivation that comes into this. And I believe that the individual who is a perceiving individual really doesn't become motivated until that due date or the given day, the given time is due. You know, tax day. I know individuals on tax day. Invariably, they'll wait and get extensions and wait. They could have gotten it in. They had roughly 3.5 months to take care of the taxes. Depending on how the forms come through, you would be able to work the tax. But they do not do that. All right, put it off. Another term is procrastination. Then we have a judging person or a judgment person. This is a person that if you give them a task to do, They go right out, no problem, sit right down, start on it, complete it, look around for the next task. They have no problem with motivation. They have no problem with procrastination, because what they want to do is complete the task and then get it out of the way so they don't have to be concerned about it. I have an illustration of this, kind of a role play. Anyway, I keep saying my wife is this way. I mean, you give her a task to do and boom, she wants to do it right away, and she usually does it right away, and she gets it off of her plate. But I make the comment that if you were traveling across the United States, remember that the judgment person takes things somewhat literally, where the perceiving person wants to look for different options, at least that's what they say. But the judgment person takes things, what they read, what they see, everything is quite literally taken. And I say, if you would drive across the United States with my wife, and it would take roughly a month, because every time that she would see a sign, clean restrooms ahead, you guessed it, she would want to stop and clean them. Okay, this winds up this section here, and we'll be looking forward to visiting with you on the next video. Until then, have a good day.